Welcome back to another Gadget Report. Let's talk gadgets. And today I am going to talk about Virgin Australia and its new Boeing 737 MAX 10. So come with me and let's talk Virgin Australia. So let's talk about Virgin Australia and their new addition to their fleet. So last month, Virgin Australia announced it expects to receive its first 737 MAX 10 late 2027. That is very good news. The press release was published on the 13th of June and says that this marks the next step in the airline's fleet renewal. I'll leave the link below for the press release so you guys can also read it. The 737 MAX 10 will be the biggest aircraft of Virgin Australia's fleet. So that is quite a remarkable achievement, I would say. The new 737 MAX 10 will provide additional capacity and flexibility to the airline's domestic and international network. You know that Virgin operates domestically, mainly domestically, but they also have some international routes. That's what the article says. Virgin operates, as I said, mainly Australian domestic, but it also operates short-haul international flights to countries like, for example, New Zealand or Bali, etc. Virgin Australian CEO said this would be a very important step for the airline, providing that extra capacity and flexibility across their network. We can see why. He also mentioned that this is also important to say that it is a step towards more quieter and fuel efficient aircraft. We know that the 737 MAX 10 it's a very good aircraft to achieve that. In fact, and as I've been saying all throughout the years, every single new aircraft that is released is going to be quieter, is going to be more fuel efficient, and of course, because the not just airlines but the manufacturers themselves have this target of not only reducing carbon emissions but making the airlines operation obviously cheaper, because if they can cut costs, for example, on fuel, maintenance costs, etc., etc., it's going to be a much better position in the bottom line, and possibly they can offer better deals in terms of fares as well. So this is a market thing. The airlines demand that planes are more efficient, not only fuel efficient, but everything, in terms of range, in terms of capacity, in terms of weight, etc. And of course, the manufacturers have to listen to that. Not just because of the environment, not just because of the carbon footprint, but also in operational terms. And running an airline, it's a very expensive exercise, as you know. The airline already owns several 737 MAX 8s, and the new aircraft will be added to the benefits of the airline's fleet. The airline claims to have from the existing MAX 8. So what the airline is saying at this MAX 10 will be adding to the benefits it already has with the MAX 8. The big announcement, and according to that press release, the big announcement was made on the 13th of June in their Brisbane maintenance hangar, in an event where employees and their families gathered to step on board Lake Centenary. Lake Centenary is one of Virgin's newest 737-8s, 737 MAX 8s, that was painted with the old Virgin blue red livery to mark the airline's 100th 737 delivery, and it will also feature the names of more than 8,000 employees in the overhead lockers. This is quite something that I think it was an extra touch, and I think it was something really positive, and a way of thanking all those employees for their contribution to the airline. I hope they have more initiatives like this, and I hope other airlines actually come up with things like this, because I think it's important. We all talk sometimes about the pilots, and of course they have a very important role, I would say a pivotal role, that nothing would happen without them. But then we have the cabin crew, the ground staff, the engineers, the baggage handlers, everyone. There's so many people that are involved in running airline and running the aviation industry, and actually a gesture like this from airline, I think it was a really, really cool thing to do, and I think it was really good to see Virgin Australia doing something like this. Now, the controversy surrounding the 737 MAX, and you know that the 737 MAX is surrounded in controversy due to that MCAS system. After 2 tragic incidents, the whole fleet was grounded, and MCAS blamed for both tragedies. I've done a video about this, so it's there. So I did it last year, I remember. After the investigation, the FAA issued a report as a result of the NTSB investigation, and MCAS needed to be redesigned. That was the result at the time. Boeing went back to the drawing board, and although the new 737 MAX still has the MCAS system, this new MCAS system is way different from its problematic original version. So the new version has a dual sensor verification instead of relying in just one sensor. Remember, in my video I explained the old MCAS only relied on one sensor, and that was causing the MCAS to be triggered if one of the sensors was faulty, because it was the only one that it was relying on. It has limited authority for, and and it can only push the nose down once. That was another problem, because it was the faulty, in both cases, the faulty sensor was telling the plane to push the nose down, and even though the pilots tried to correct it, it was pushing the nose down. The MCAS was continuously trying to push the nose down, leading to the disaster. Now it can only happen once, and not repeatedly, and a pilot override function that makes it easier for pilots to regain control of the aircraft should an incident occur. So the new MCAS is a totally different system, a totally different tool than what it was back then. So making this aircraft safe to fly, and again regaining the trust of airlines such as Virgin Australia. The new 737 MAX is safe, and it seems like airlines can see it and are starting to regain confidence and purchasing these birds. I think it was a good thing. I'll leave the link below for the press release so you can have a look. And of course, I can also leave the link below for the video for the Gadget report I did about this particular aircraft and the issues with the MCAS. So for today, I hope you like this news from Virgin Australia, and I hope this is the beginning of a new era for this aircraft. You know, I like my Boeings, and this one is definitely my favorite. I like my Boeings. I always like my Boeings, and what has been happening with Boeing and all the criticism the company has been suffering lately because of several issues, safety issues, functional issues, etc. I think it's hurting the company, obviously, and we see that Airbus has been obviously taking advantage of all this bad press that Boeing has been suffering. But I believe that it can be fixed. This 737 MAX is one of the examples of that. The airlines are going back to this aircraft because, let's face it, it's a good aircraft. It's a nice plane, and it was devastating that those tragedies happened. Devastating that the whole thing, it was horrible, and it was also devastating that airlines obviously walked away from the aircraft after so many scandals, after so many problems, and the entire fleet being grounded. So it is good to see that things are starting to come back to normal for Boeing, I think, and I hope this is the case. Now, I hope you like the video. And have you traveled on one of these aircrafts before, either the 737 MAX 8 or even the 737 MAX 10? Obviously not with Virgin, because the delivery of their MAX 10, it's just expected next year, but with another airline. Let me know in the comment below how was your experience in terms of legroom, etc, etc, etc. And of course, if you have any other topic that you would like me to talk about in our gadget reports, just let me know. And put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next one. Have a good one, and fasten your seatbelts. We are about to hit some turbulence. Bye.